Trump has found himself in yet another lose-lose situation. And I'm not just talking about the ceasefire agreement. I'm talking about his base and people that support him. And I know, usually we would say that there's nothing that could make his base not support him, because at its core, MAGA is a cult. But now his base is divided. Because on one side, you have people like Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, people that used to be very staunch supporters of him, who are now criticizing him for his actions related to the conflict in the Middle East. And that's arguably a huge chunk of his base because they influence the minds of a lot of people. And when you look at his Truth Social, you have a lot of people under each post that seem like very big MAGA supporters but are now calling him out because of everything. Especially that tweet on Easter. It did not make them happy. So you'd think his strategy would be to walk back what he said to regain that support. But there's a problem with that. The other side of his base is fully in support of this conflict. Both sides have their own chum bucket helmet on, but this side definitely has theirs on a little tighter. And when Trump extended that deadline for an agreement and started talking about a ceasefire, that made them upset because they believed what he originally said, that we need to go into this conflict. So either way he goes, there's going to be a side that's upset with him. And also, as collateral damage, congressional Republicans are going to have to choose a side, and whichever side they choose is going to draw criticism from the other right before a midterm election. If you don't believe me, look at Trump's historically low approval rating. It's definitely not all Kamala Harris voters. And might I remind you that Truth Social was created for Trump's base, so those people who are diehard fans to follow along with him. And he's even losing support there. Also, fun fact, it hasn't even turned a profit yet. But yeah, I just want to say that this is having real implications for him, and it's going to have real implications for Republicans come midterm. And we can see that with Democrats flipping over 24 seats already and Republicans flipping 0. November isn't even here yet. So check your voter registration and make a plan, because it cannot come soon enough.
Anyone else super confused by like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene being so appalled by Trump right now? Because I'm like, I thought this is what you all wanted. I thought this is why you voted for him. Because you all are like cruel little peas in a pod. None of what Trump's doing should shock you. This is his golden album. Remember when he talked about pew-pewing someone on Fifth Avenue and his supporters would follow him and love him no matter what? Grab him by the, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, pardoning the January Sixers. Him in the files, how he talks about his daughter. How he calls people he doesn't like animals. Him threatening to annex different nations. And you all are surprised he threatened to annihilate an entire civilization? Like, yeah, I'm watching it terrified, but I'm not surprised. Neither is the 75 million people who, voted for Kamala. Because we all kind of knew, water was wet. And I thought you all knew too, and that's why you voted for him, because this is who you are. I mean, it is who you are, you just don't want to admit it. Because, it's so obvious that this was going to happen. You're just trying right now to save face. And it is starting to, actually affect your life, which that you didn't see coming. You just thought it was going to affect people who didn't look like you. But, for the record, yeah. If somebody typically enjoys reveling in cruelty, chances are they're gonna be cruel. Dehumanizing marginalized communities typically goes hand in hand with murderous outrage. Kind of a fun history fact. What I didn't see coming is that Trump is making me side with the Vatican. That's rude.
Hey, look, we finally got some entertainment today. You see, Trump called Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, the people who built his base, nut jobs with low IQs, on a huge Truth Social post. He had a meltdown, and now the MAGA wall is coming down, brick by brick. And instead of talking about the Iran ceasefire or gas prices hitting almost $4.50 a gallon, or literally anything else, he decides to write a 485-word personal attack on 4 people who were his most loyal, loudest megaphones for years. In a post today, Trump called Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones nut jobs, troublemakers, and people with low IQs, claiming they run third-rate podcasts and that nobody cares about them. But the reason? Because all 4 of them, people who spent years cheerleading for this man, pushed back on the Iran war. But here's where it gets interesting, because Trump didn't just attack their positions, he went personal. He called Tucker Carlson a hand-flailing fool who couldn't even finish college and suggested he should see a good psychiatrist. He brought up Megyn Kelly's infamous 2015 debate question. He called Candace Owens crazy, and he went after Alex Jones for the Sandy Hook lawsuit. And the responses, well, unhinged in the best possible way. After seeing Trump's post, Candace Owens wrote, "It may be time to put Grandpa up in a home." Alex Jones called the Iran war a total disaster and a black eye for America, and called for the 25th Amendment. Megyn Kelly said that the coalition that got Trump elected is completely fractured and in smithereens, and asked the question is now not who has Trump lost, the question is who remains. Candace Owens had already told her 7.8 million followers that Trump is a genocidal lunatic and that our Congress and military needs to intervene. And Joe Rogan, well, Rogan himself declared politically homeless this week, saying supporters feel betrayed. All of this isn't random. Trump is drawing a line, by the way. My MAGA versus their MAGA. So the question is, what happens to all these voters, the ones who found Trump through like Rogan, Carlson, through Owens, when those people tell them, hey, we were wrong? Please share, repost, like, and bookmark this video. Jump in the comments and tell me, how do you feel about all this?
I think that the influencers are right now. I think we're totally out of touch with the MAGA base. I think the MAGA base is in line with where the president is. They support this war. They support the ceasefire. Whatever it is that he does, they're going to support. And so these influencers may actually be losing their influence.
And Trump is starting to tear into them. He went in on Tucker Carlson, calling him a low IQ person. Quote, he calls me all the time. I don't respond to his calls. I don't deal with him. I like dealing with smart people, not fools. These are not people you thought were fools when they were endorsing you and tearing down.
You never think somebody's a fool when they're supporting
I know,
you.
but are they being contrary? Is this contrarianism themselves? Or does it actually reflect certainly the polling when it comes to independence?
If we really want to get to the bottom line, if you listen to what they're saying is, why are we in Iran? If I'm going to get rid of all of the rhetoric that's going on there, why are we in Iran when we have problems here at home with the cost of living, kitchen table topics? We have the midterm elections coming up. Are they wrong about that? No. Are they inflammatory in their language? Yes. The poll numbers that you pointed out at the beginning of this, that's what the White House is paying attention to.
That's right.
When those numbers start to slip, then we can have a whole other conversation.
It's happening. It's finally happening, guys. The MAGA coalition is falling apart. Could you ever imagine a year ago that Donald Trump would attack Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones? It's because the jig is up. He can't run for president again. And so with his numbers in the tank, these people all know that they have to carve out their own lanes to keep their audiences and keep their money, because Daddy Trump's not going to help them anymore because he's literally tanked everything. And I'm not going to show you this whole thing because it is completely absurd, and it's like 4 pages long. You can go read it on that dumb app if you want. But look at this. He is attacking them. And these people are his base. So what do the supporters of Carlson, Kelly, Owens, and Jones do now? Do they stay with them, or do they go to their cult leader, Donald Trump? But it is very obvious now that he is doing a terrible job as president, because his numbers are in the mid-30s and these people are splintering away. And I don't know how the cult is going to be able to process this. It probably is going to make their minds just melt into the ground, but they're in trouble. And if these people get their people to stay home because they don't see what it's worth anymore, because Donald Trump has sold them up the river and lied to them over and over again, and they are finally, after 10 years, realizing it, the wipeout that's going to happen to Republicans in November is going to be so epic. So yes, I think it's finally happening. We've been waiting for this for 10 years, but it has begun.
Y'all, is Trump losing his damn mind? Like, real question right now. I'm not even going to read this to you guys because it's a fucking novel, but you can screenshot it and read it yourselves. He's talking about Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones. Like, what is happening right now? And real talk, is dude typing all of this? He's got to be doing talk to text. There is no way anybody is typing that. Like, what in the whole fuck is happening right now? It's all over the place. He drops that, posts it, whatever you want to call it, and then turns around and drops this. There are reports that Iran is charging fees to tankers going through the strait. They better not be. If they are, they better stop now. Like, bro, what happened to just hitting up your homie and being like, dude, what's happening right now? Why are we running to the internet? This dude is unraveling. Like, I'm starting to think, well, I've known this, but there's got to be more to the story than we know, because he is losing his mind right now. For somebody like him who prides himself by being in control of everything, or at least that's his perceived perception, he seems to be very out of control right now, which tells me either shit's about to hit the fan or he has literally lost control. And that's a scary thought. What the hell do you guys think? Because this is wild.
We have some news right now. Those inside Donald Trump's orbit in MAGA, well, they're not happy with the president. Not all of them, at least. No longer the 100% approval rating that the president likes to claim after he went after Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a lot of the folks that supported him throughout his entire presidency and the first presidency. This is what his Truth Social looks like tonight. You've just lost my support, Mr. President. I can't. I'm done, DJT. You're just a man, and I've done all that I can to support you and stand up for you, but enough is enough. This man is not well. If a CEO of any organization posted this type of hate, the board would oust them. OMG, you sound like a 10-year-old who got his feelings hurt. Seeing your followers that trusted you dwindle in numbers when you threaten lives over a straight explains much more than that. What? You're way out of line. Most of these people, especially Alex Jones, have been your day ones. You need to step back and take a good look at who's whispering in your ear. Get back to America first. And there's a whole lot more from where that came from. It's been an interesting day between Melania Trump and Donald Trump melting down on Truth Social. Now this. We'll see what happens. Spread the word. Follow for more.
This is sarcastic, hilarious. It's paradox. It is wicked fun. I guess I need to call the Pope in here. We need to pray.
So the worst people you know are apparently fighting. Yeah, Donald Trump took to his Truth Social to attack a bunch of his former sycophants, his former diehard supporters, people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and so on and so forth, because he's not happy. He's calling them low IQ and all this stuff because they had had gone after him over a few things. Now, keep in mind that a lot of these MAGA supporters, a lot of these conservative influencers, they change their opinions constantly. Like Megyn Kelly was supporting Donald Trump the other day, and then all of a sudden spoke out against him because of the Iran deal, right? Tucker Carlson one day is saying that, Trump's not Christian enough on Easter. And then another day he's talking about how he wants Trump to take over Canada. So their opinions are all over the place. So I'm not sitting here going, good for them. No, because they're grifters. They're con men. It's all part of the con. It's all part of them making money. So just because one day I might agree with something they say does not mean I agree with them at all, in total. And I definitely don't think that they're good people. So watching Trump tear them apart and them tear Trump down, back is great. It's wonderful. I'm going to sit here with my popcorn and enjoy every single moment of it. If I see Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and, and Nick Fuentes and all of Joe Rogan even, if I see all of them saying horrible things about Trump, good. Keep it up. Do more. Because I want to see these people who used to be his diehard supporters start questioning, start commenting, start attacking him. Because I want Donald to lose his mind. I do. I really want him to lose his shit over all of this. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I like any of them. And it doesn't mean that I always agree with their opinions, but oh hell, I will sit by and I will watch the drama unfold on all of this.
Here's how you know it's not going well for Trump. When the likes of Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, and even fucking Nick Fuentes are agreeing with somebody like me, shit's not going well.
Girl, Melania, I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to cause it to happen. That's what this was. That's that whole press conference. Has nothing to do with you and Epstein. It's everything to do with Donnie Boy and having some sort of stroke or heart attack, right? Because he's having an absolute fit online over everything from Iran, one of the wars he tried to start to cover up from the files, to, MAGA influencers dropping him left, right, and center. Not that they know what the left or center is, but he's dropping him. Okay. And they're dropping him too, because honestly, threatening to destroy an entire civilization is a step too far. We may have found the line with some of them. Crazy. But girl, if you're really trying to, get free, raise your eyebrows twice. Now, I know it might be difficult with the Botox. I'm a tox girl myself. Watch. You can do it if you really try. So just do that twice. if that's what your plan was all along. Okay, we understand. A lot of us are here with playlists. You know, we've got our beverages of choice. I got my champagne in the fridge. I'm waiting for that big, beautiful moment too, girl. So if you were trying to speed it along, thank you. If you're trying to cover up for him, well, you're going to join him in hell.
We got my girl Candace weighing in yesterday on what Trump had to say. Oh, I think just him in general, but she says, this is a satanic administration. We all realize that satanic Zionists occupy the White House and Congress needs to move to have the Mad King Trump removed. All of our lives may depend upon other countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious fanatics who have convinced him that he is a messiah. We are in uncharted territory. Leaders worldwide need to act accordingly. I mean, I'm not quite sure where she's going with this. I know she's been 10 toes down on a lot of issues and isn't feeling Trump, which is fine. I think a lot of people aren't at this point. But she's also very vague in what she's saying. So I think I need her to be more clear and to just come out and say it. But also, like, removing him is probably not the answer because the next person is just going to fall right in line and go along with the same BS. So I don't think that's going to help. But what do you guys think?
President Trump just set it off. Lord, I don't want to make this video, man. I don't want to make this video. God knows I don't want to make this video. President Trump just called out what people are calling his biggest supporters. He called out Megyn Kelly, called out Alex Jones. He called out Candace Owens. He called out Tucker Carlson. Donald Trump is absolutely furious, and he's finally attacked the people. And it's crazy because my YouTube videos has been leading up to this moment. I'm not even making nothing up. I've constantly been saying that the main threat to MAGA right now is really online, but it's the people that's online generating this hate, that's manipulating the few masses, the soccer home moms at home, that's truly trying to fight for justice, that's being manipulated by these people into believing that there's a massive divide in MAGA or that President Trump is doing a bad job. President Trump finally responded, verifies everything I've been saying. It's having an effect. Although we see it's not really affecting voters. I mean, you can even see with James Fishback. He's a great critic of Trump, has a lot of support from Groypers, yet his campaign looks like a fantasy. It's almost impossible for him to win. And that's without me saying if I want him to win or not. It's just the odds aren't there. Now, what would that mean? That would mean that people are extremely radical. They still don't really have a place in America yet. They have more of a place in America than they did before, but there's still no place for them today. Until you're able to win elections, it's kind of irrelevant, is it not? That's how we really make change. Other than that, only change that we're making is that goes in our pockets after we get done telling a message. Now, that's just not genuine. Trump sees that. These people are sounding off dog whistles. These people are counter-posting anything he does. Trump takes down leaders in Iran. Now these leaders are fighting for peace. Trump says he's going to annihilate a civilization. All these people he called said that, oh, Trump's going to use a nuke. He's going to kill everyone. He shouldn't do these things. Ended up saying Trump's chickening out when he decided to give these people mercy and grace. You see, these people are here to counter-signal everything that Trump's doing. And you think it's random that President Trump came off signing off on them people a day after I just made a post on Twitter saying the U.S. government plans to start investigating influencers that's getting paid by foreign countries to turn Americans against Trump and MAGA is coming. You gotta mind you, I just posted this like 16 hours ago. 0 Hour posted it originally. I don't believe none of this is random. I think there's a hammer coming down, and goddamn it, I support it. You can't sit here and influence American citizens to turn against the President of the United States for monetary gain. Now, you can do it out of the kindness of your heart because thankfully the First Amendment allows it to be so. But when you start doing this treason and shit, trying to get us to turn against our allies, at the end of the day,
I don't know why people are surprised that Trump is turning on Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, and Candace Owens. The only person that Donald Trump will never turn on in this world is Donald Trump. Trump is not loyal to anyone
but expects complete and total absolute loyalty from everyone else. It doesn't matter what you've done for him. It doesn't matter what money you've given him. It doesn't matter how many times you've kissed his ass and tried to sell his vision of the world to the public. It doesn't matter. The second that either you need to be expended to save his political ass, or you do something like in this case, following the words of Trump 2024 instead of Trump 2026, you're done. That's how you know you're dealing with a cult leader and a cult. Because the people who are defending this war and blindly following him don't actually have any kind of internal moral compass of their own. They only believe in Trump. Although I find all of these people completely reprehensible, at least they believe in something that isn't just Donald Trump. Unfortunately for them, that's not acceptable to Trump.
President Donald Trump just posted a very long post on Truth Social. It's like 3 of these pages here. What he's doing is he's criticizing several conservative media figures. Tucker Carlson, as you can see above, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and also Alex Jones. He's accusing them of opposing him and not aligning with MAGA. He's also calling them weak, irrelevant, or attention-seeking, going on to say they are all supporting narratives that he disagrees with, including Iran. He's also saying that they're truly not MAGA, as I just mentioned, and that their influence is declining despite media attention. He's letting everybody know that he doesn't engage with them because he's just focused on governing. In the very end of his Truth Social post, he reaffirms his stance that Iran must not have nuclear weapons. He emphasizes MAGA, which is strength, winning, and America First policies. And that under his leadership, the USA is currently the strongest and hottest country globally under his leadership. I'm going to do my very next video is reading the entire post out, though.
JW Mancuso, Mama on a Mission, jumping in today, and it is a funny one today. President Trump, I love him to death. I love a lot of his policies, but wow, does he sometimes get involved in these petty arguments, and it's just like, why are you doing this? I wish you would just stop. I hate to agree with Megyn Kelly on this one, and I guess he's lashing out at her as well. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, anyone who states that he is doing something wrong or questions him, he does not like that at all. Candace, he's saying that she is crazy, of course, and that the Second Lady of France is not a man, that she is a woman, and that, you know, a better looking woman than Candace, which I have to disagree on. That does definitely seem like a man. And then, you know, he just gets involved and says things, I think, out of haste. And some things he should just really ignore. They don't mean anything in the long scheme of things. And let it go. That's how I see it. But it is hard sometimes when people criticize you, even online. I've had my share. It's not a lot, but there are some who make really petty comments about my voice, about what I'm saying. It is hard to ignore it sometimes. And most of the time I just delete it, but there are times I do comment. So, you know, I can see where he's coming from. As far as the war in Iran, I do think that, you know, there was plenty of information stating that we were getting really close to them having nuclear capabilities, and that is very scary for everyone. So if that is the case, and that was the intel, that he did the right thing. I believe Candace feels like BB has talked him into this or manipulated him into this, and she's not happy about that. So I'm sure that is where the discord is coming from. And then also with the Epstein files, she wasn't happy with how he disregarded them at some point. And, you know, other things I'm sure that she didn't always agree with. So anyway, those are some of the things he's talking about. He's not happy with them. Do you think he should respond to these people? Do you think he should ignore them? Do you think he's being petty? What are your thoughts on Trump? Let's talk.
I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their posts. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes. They never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They are nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have a third-rate podcast, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he was fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who's nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and loses his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attacks on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news, CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They are not MAGA. They are losers. They are just trying to latch onto MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I wanted. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Taylor Brown. Oh, that killed me. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is winning and strength in not allowing Iran to have a nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. This is going to go down in history as by far one of my favorite X-posts, truth posts that he has ever made. Well done, Mr. President. Amen to this statement. Absolutely brilliant. Love it.
Well, folks, more and more people are starting to break away from Donald Trump. And I know we've said this a lot over the years. And just when you think that the guy's gone, he just comes back stronger than ever. But this go around, we're seeing more people in unison start to call Donald Trump out all at once. And I think it's because anyone with a grain of sense can see the writing on the wall. Anyone can see that the midterms, if we have a free and fair election, is going to be an absolute blue tsunami. Everyone can see that coming a mile away. People who wants to be around and wants to be relevant once this is all over, they're starting to pump the brakes and pull back. We saw it with Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, different people. I did a video on Joe and Theo's conversation they had about it. But we're seeing more MAGA influencers, some of the top MAGA influencers starting to break away and finally see through a whole lot of this. And so first, we're going to talk about Candace Owens, who every now and then, I ain't going to lie, I fall down into a rabbit hole and go watch her videos because she's always trying to shake things up in MAGA. But she's finally starting to see through what Donald Trump really is. I'm going to play you first this clip where Piers Morgan asks her, does she regret voting for Donald Trump?
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen and it is happening. But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
It's absolutely the candidate that she voted for. I hate when they say that. I hate when they say this isn't who I voted for. This isn't what I voted for. It is. It's exactly what he said he was going to do. He showed you who he was, and you went to bat for him time and time again. So to try to backpedal now and say, oh, this ain't who it was or who I voted for is totally wrong in my opinion. But after that, Candace ended up making this post, and she took it a step further. I want to read this one to you. Look what she said. This is about Trump's Easter post. This is a satanic administration. We realize that satanic Zionists occupy the White House, and Congress needs to move to have the Mad King Trump removed. All of our lives may depend upon other countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious fanatics who have convinced him that he is the Messiah. We are in uncharted territory. Leaders worldwide need to act accordingly. But again, I will say this is what she voted for, and this is what she propped up, and this is what she pushed forward as the Messiah. But to come out and say this is a satanic administration sounds a whole lot like she had a pretty big change of heart just since Piers Morgan said, do you regret?
WTF 2026, the Mad King is at it again. See, I've been calling him the Mad King since day one. Y'all just now figuring out, because all of these podcast people here have requested that Congress look into invoking the 25th Amendment on him. And they was his number one supporter. And he turned on him just like Christine Noem and Pam Bondi. Matter of fact, Pam Bondi about to end up like Rudy Giuliani. She about to lose her license and everything. But back to the subject. He called these people third-rate podcasters, said it was nothing but nut jobs and troublemakers, and they were trying to latch on to MAGA. Now, 2 days ago, Megyn Kelly said if we get hit by a nuclear war, she don't care. She's still supporting Trump. I wonder what she think about that now, since he said he don't even return her calls. Y'all need to go read what he put on Truth Social. I just posted up here. Go find it. He called Tucker Carlson a felon fool who could not graduate college. Called Candace Owens crazy. Said she was crazy. He called Marjorie Taylor Greene Margie Trader Brown. How did we get here? We got here because these guys decided the joke's gone too far. Mega's gone too far. The Mad King's gone too far. Invoked the 25th Amendment. They actually got scared because in all of the BS that they spill on these airways every day, they knew Iran was about their life and Iran was not playing. I've been telling y'all that since day one. He's over here playing Mortal Kombat and they over there playing Game of Thrones. This is real for them. You disrespected them. They are not going to let you live that down. And you're going to say, oh, I did a 10-point plan ceasefire. They don't care about that. They ain't honoring none of that. Give the Strait of Hamas back. You think they're giving up $2 million a vessel? Are you freaking crazy? You have single-handedly made Iran one of the most powerful countries in the world right now. And along with that, you have single-handedly destroyed the economy of about 7 or 8 countries over there in the Middle East. Kuwait, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, they ain't getting no tourism money no time soon. I'm just saying. But how did we get there? How was Iran able to outplay us at our own game? You know how? Think about this. Back in 2021, 2022, when they raided Mar-a-Lago and found over 100 boxes of top secret government information, and Mar-a-Lago had guests coming from Saudi Arabia and Russia, you think allegedly something didn't get sold to them? And then when we went into a conflict with Iran, they knew exactly where every soldier was stationed at overseas. Every military base, every plane, every missile, every bullet. They even know the emergency operation plan if they had to evacuate what hotel the soldiers was going to be living in. Where do you think they got the information from? Allegedly. I'm just saying. And they beat us at our own game. Because while we was over here playing Mortal Kombat, they was playing Game of Thrones. You was trying to hit them with missiles and they was beating us with drones, people. Drones. We ain't never been outgunned and outnumbered like that. And then you tried to drag everybody else in. We have no more friends. The European Union is like, bye-bye, see you later. NATO was like, kick rocks. Don't come in my airspace. Italy, don't come in my airspace. France, don't come in my airspace. Germany, we are at this alone. And they're steady running out of ammunition overseas and can't get it to them because nobody will allow you to fly by to get it there. We have wasted over $300 billion in weapons and aircraft that have been destroyed. You don't even know what the real body count is. If you have family and loved ones overseas in this conflict and you haven't heard from them in a couple weeks, they could be part of the body count, because everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. It is a lie. But hey, you know my saying, you had a chance to make a difference. So we have to continue to have the day that they voted for, because I didn't vote for this. But I'm going to tell you a little secret. Every time I read these messages that come out of Truth Social, I know dang well the Mad King ain't writing them. The Mad King and that clown brigade ain't got that much intelligence. They can't spell and they can't read. There's always grammatical errors in the message. There's always misspellings in the message. The real culprit is Stephen Miller. That's who's writing that out. He's the only one in the White House whose brain is so diabolical and evil to put stuff like this out. And the Mad King ain't checking it. He just letting them hit send. You have a military that is ran by an alcoholic who got kicked out of the National Guard. And that's who our safety is dependent on. And nobody wants to work with him. He's lost all of his admirals and generals and joint chiefs of staff. Nobody with experience is there. You have a cyber intelligence user who's supposed to track the terrorist movement being done by a gardener. Homeland Security is being ran by a plumber. And we supposed to feel safe. See, that's why Meghan and all of them turned on Trump, because they realize how crazy this is. And they realize how serious this is. And they realize we are no longer safe no matter how much they tell y'all. And we actually lost that conflict. And that's why they're speaking up now. But hey, it's too late. And for all of y'all out there saying, what are the Democrats doing? What are they doing? The Democrats don't run the House. The Democrats don't run the Senate. The Democrats don't run the executive portion. And the Democrats don't run the damn Supreme Court. It don't matter what they put on the floor. It gets knocked down. They don't have the power to do nothing. But you know who had the power? You. November the 5th, 2024, you had all the power in the world. And you voted for this shit. So may you have the day you voted for. Stop complaining. Stop whining. Stop saying I'm no longer MAGA. None of that matters at this point. We in this. We are in this unless he leaves us soon or walks away. Other than that, we got another 2 years of that. And God only knows where we will be at in the next 2 years. Okay? So let me go ahead and thank you in advance for jacking up this economy and jacking up the world's economy. And with that being said, may you have the day you voted for. And in the words of that great poet Glorilla, let him cook.
Yeah, Trump calling out all them Republican podcasters. I don't know, man. Is that a mistake or not?
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.